as so saith Proverbs 16:4. For shall the work say of him that made it, he made me not? Or shall a thing framed say of him that framed it, he had no understanding? So basically what the Most High is going to do is he's going to take all these things that Esau has done and turn them back the right way. Alright? So that's why it says this intellectual group should attempt to put itself into positions where it could control the dissemination of information vital to biblical study. That's why you can't go by every book that Esau writes. You can get certain information and certain references, like from the Compact Bible Dictionary, Blue Letter Bible, which is a Strong's Concordance, and certain other books that Esau writes. You can get certain information out of there, but you can't go wholeheartedly by that. That's why you got a lot of these assholes out there that's lost, because they wholeheartedly trust in everything that Esau puts out there. And one prime example of that is this guy, False Prophet 666. Anything that Esau puts down in books, he just goes along with it. All right. So that's why it says that they would control the dissemination of information vital to biblical studies. This means they should gravitate to positions of authority in scholastic publications dealing with these fields, including libraries and archives. That's why when you go to these universities, which the word university, uni is one, versity is to turn into one, which is a one world government or one world order. When you go to these universities, you don't learn anything. You try to go to a university to learn the Bible, they're gonna twist that thing around so much to where when you come out of there, you're gonna be more perplexed than when you first went in there. That's why these so-called DDs, or Doctors of Divinity, that come out of these colleges, they're basically just set up to destroy further destroy the validity of the Bible, so that people, especially our people, the Israelites, would be more subject to lean towards the so-called white man and the government than to lean towards the Most High. Now, with that being said, I gotta come back to Daniel, but I want to go to the book of Isaiah. We were just there, the 33rd chapter, and I believe it's the 20th verse, and it says, "Look upon Zion, the city of our solemnities. Thine eyes shall see Jerusalem." No, this is not it. It's in Isaiah 33:22. Here you go, Isaiah 33:22. "For the Lord is our judge, the Lord is our lawgiver, the Lord is our king. He will save us." So the Most High is the one that's going to save us. Now, when you go to Isaiah, we were there, Isaiah the 10th chapter and the 20th verse. It also says this: "And it shall come to pass in that day that the remnant of Israel, and such as are escaped of the house of Jacob," meaning they escaped the grip of Esau, the so-called white man, and all these different philosophies that are being taught out here, "shall no more again stay upon him that smote them." Because, see, Israel depends on Esau and the government. They trust in that. That's why when the situation happened in Louisiana with Katrina, what happened? What was the first thing they were asking for? They didn't say, "Where's the Most High at? Where's Yahweh Shai at?" What did they say? "Where's FEMA at?" Why? Because they trust in the so-called white man. They trust in his government more than they trust in the Most High. And that's one of the reasons why this whole biblical, which we're going to get into, the whole situation was set up to destroy the validity of the Bible, and have these preachers, have scandals come out on these preachers, so that when people would think about the scriptures and think about the Most High, the first thing that's going to come to their mind, instead of looking for salvation and being redeemed and being safe, they're looking at all the actions that happened. Or this guy was a pedophile, and this guy, he was a robber, this guy, he stole from the church, and this preacher, he committed all types of adultery with all kind of men and women in the church, homosexual acts. So they took all the attention away from the scriptures and from the Most High and put it on the people that are supposed to be teaching these religions. That's why we told brothers that this is not a religion. This is a worship. All right. So it said, but shall stay upon the Lord, the Holy One of Israel in truth. So that means Israelites were going to stay, or going to trust in the Most High, the Holy One of Israel, in truth. That's why you have to learn this truth, so that you can, when the whole shit hits the fan, so to speak, you can be protected and you can be safe. All right. So now let's go back here to number 4. It says, "All sections of the Illuminati, Frankists, and fellow revolutionaries of future generations must cooperate fully to promote and enhance the career advancement of the Biblical Destruction Group." The Apocrypha in the Authorized King James Version. According to the book To Eliminate the Opiate, out of print by Rabbi Antelman, the Illuminati formed a committee entitled the Biblical Destruction Group in 1776. This committee disbanded 50 years later. In 1826, the Apocrypha, 14 books of the Bible, was removed from the Protestant edition of the King James Bible. What were in these books that the Illuminati had to keep from the average person? What truths had to be hidden, and particularly in the United States? So see, these devils know that there was a lot of information in the Apocrypha that was vital to knowing what the end times entailed, and it also spoke about America and its destruction. BDG. Now, this biblical destruction group, they were set up in 1776 when the Illuminati was set up, and supposedly they were disbanded 50 years later. But the only thing that was disbanded was the name, because the people were still were continuing on in their quest. So the Biblical Destruction Group as a name, because it's nothing but a corporation, just like Macy's or J.C. Penney, they'll go out of business, but then they'll come back under a different name, and that's all that they did, because all Esau does is go from one corporation to the next. Just he'll do so much damage to one corporation and move on to another corporation. Just like America's a corporation. They did their damage, then they go under a different name. So this biblical destruction group was started in 1776 during the birth and creation of the Illuminati, and then they were disbanded. This particular group was disbanded 50 years later, but they just went under different names. And in 50 years later, in 1826, that's when they took the Apocrypha out of the Bible. Okay, and should apply pressure where necessary towards that advancement. BDG, or the Biblical Destruction Group, must be self-perpetuating. Every member must produce at least one replacement for himself in his lifetime. In other words, in case anything happened to this guy, somebody had to be, at least one other person had to be trained in what they were doing, in their goals. Number 6, all media at the disposal of revolutionaries must be rallied to disseminate propaganda issued by any member of the BDG, or the Biblical Destruction Group. Number 7, people who are not members of the BDG but who seem to show an interest in pursuing anti-Bible thought should be encouraged without even their knowledge and catapulted into important positions. This will strengthen the BDG at any time in history. So that's what they've been doing for the last since 1776, and really before that. But the so-called Illuminati that's known today, the Bavarian faction of it anyway, was started in Germany in 1776, which was made first through Adam Weishaupt, which was given money and orders by the Rothschild to set that group up. It said, as time goes on, those who accept the views that are fostered by the BDG should be in a position strong enough to destroy any academician or intellectuals who do not conform to their ideas. And that's why they do the things that they do. And anybody that comes against them, you better believe that they put them to death. Alright, now, since we hit that point, right, I want to show you, brothers, something else. When you go, because they systematically took the Apocrypha out of the King James Version of the Bible in 1826, I'm sorry. Now, the Spanish version of the Bible, which is called Cassiadura Valera, right? The 1500s and the 1600s is when this version of the Bible came to be. I believe it was 1569, and then there was a revision in 1602. Yeah, this is the Bible translation, Spanish, from Wikipedia, the free encyclopedia. And this is the Bible here, Reina Valera translation. The classic Spanish translation of the Bible is that of Cassiodoro de Reina, revised by Cipriano de Valera. It was for the use of the incipient Protestant movement and widely regarded as a Spanish equivalent of the Authorized Version. The first whole Bible in Spanish was printed in Basel in 1569, authored by Cassiodoro de Reina. Although some think that the Bible was a collective effort of some monks of the San Isidoro community in Spain, who led by Cassiodoro de Reina, escaped Inquisition and persecution. This was the first version of the complete Bible in Spanish, including Apocrypha, and is known as Biblia del Oso because of the honey-eating bear on its title page. Reina presented the University of Basel with some volumes, One of them with Reina's dedicatory and signature. And this is one of the pages on this. See there. And there was a Spanish Bible, and they said that the Spanish Bible was a mirror image of the King James Bible. They basically went hand in hand. So they took out the Apocrypha out of the King James version, the English version, in 1826, and then in 1862 they took out of La Santa Biblia, they took out the Apocrypha. It says a revision of the complete Bible. The revision was made by Dr. Lorenzo Lucena. This was in 1862, a professor at Oxford University. His changes included additional revisions in orthography, and a modernized diction was added. Let me show you this. The Old Testament Apocrypha, which had been placed between the Testaments, was removed. So that's when that was removed. Let me show you that a little closer. Let me go back a little bit. See, the Old Testament Apocrypha, which had been placed between the Testaments, was removed. And this is by a guy named Lorenzo de Lucena. Alright? So that's just to show you how these devils operate. Alright? Now, let's go from there. I have a actual book here. This book right here is called Culture and Society in Habsburg Spain by R.W. Truman, Nigel Griffin. And we know, like I said, we use certain information. It's just we get like little tidbits from this book and that book. You know, we don't read all these books. We just get the vital information that we need. And in this book, on page 196, it says in 1846, SPCK, which SPCK is the Society for Promoting Christian Knowledge. That's an acronym, SPCK, Society for Promoting Christian Knowledge, which was their Christian knowledge, which is their nonsense, you know. But it says in 1846, SPCK asked Lucena, which is the guy we just talked about, to undertake a new version of the New Testament in Spanish, to replace that of the admittedly liberal Catholic. Torres Amat, Lucena refused, so he didn't want to do that. The New Testament. It says, and the work was entrusted to another Spanish exile, Juan Calderon, who later became professor of Spanish at King's College, London. However, at the time of his appointment to the Taylor Institution, or just after, Lucena did undertake for the SPCK, the Society for Promoting Christian Knowledge. It says Lucena did undertake for the SPCK his most famous, his most famous and long-lasting foray into the revision and editing of Spanish translations of the Bible. This was his textual or modernization from original manuscripts of the complete translation by the Protestant exile Casiodora de Reina. Now that's when you look at those ancient Spanish translation, this is the name you're going to see, Casiodora Valera or Reina de Valera. This is published in Basle in 1569. See, Lucena's version, which incorporated the subsequent revision published in Amsterdam by Cipriano, see this is another name, de Valera, in 1602, was published for SPCK by Oxford University Press 1862, which was the same year, as we said, the same year, 1862, where the Old Testament Apocrypha, which had been placed between the Testaments, was removed by this guy, Dr. Lorenzo Lucena. Alright? So that's the reason why they did that, was because they have a plan. They have an agenda. You know? And now let's go from there. Let's go back to Daniel, the 2nd chapter. And the reason why we know about these things is because the Most High is revealing these things to us now, because this is the time to expose Esau. This is the time to bring out all the dirt that this devil has. Bring it all out on his ass. Alright, so let's go back to Daniel 2:22. He revealeth the deep and secret things. He knoweth what is in the darkness, and the light dwelleth with him. Now verse 28. But there is a power in heaven that revealeth secrets. See? So that's the reason why we know the things that we know. Now let's go from there to the book of 2 Thessalonians. 2 Thessalonians, the 2nd chapter, and I believe it's around about the 8th verse. Matter of fact, I'm going to start at 5. Remember you not that when I was yet with you, I told you these things. This is Paul speaking to the congregation, which is really Yahushua speaking through Paul to us today. And now you know what withholdeth, that he might be revealed in his time. See? So Paul was telling them, and really Yahushua was telling us back then. Now you know why I withheld certain things, that he, meaning Esau, the devil, the so-called white man, might be revealed in his time, because it wasn't time back then for Esau to be revealed. All right. It says, "For the mystery of iniquity doth already work." So the mystery of iniquity, who the devil is, was already in work back then, 2,000 years ago, which was the Roman Empire. Only he who now letteth will let until he be taken out of the way. So that's the only reason why Esau is still ruling, because the Most High is allowing him to rule. It says, "And then shall that wicked be revealed." And how is he being revealed? He's being revealed twofold. He's being revealed that he's the devil through his seed, or physical seed on the earth, which is the Edomites. And he's also being revealed as being the devil through all the lies that have been taught and all the things that have been hidden. It says, "And then shall that wicked be revealed, whom the Lord shall consume with the spirit of his mouth." Now what's the spirit of the Most High's mouth? The truth, the Bible. But who is that spirit of the Most High's mouth? It's us, the prophets. It says, "Whom the Lord shall consume with the spirit of his mouth, and shall destroy with the brightness of his coming." And that's talking about the thermonuclear destruction. So the first steps to destroying Esau and his bullshit is to expose him. That's why the Elder Tahar, beginning with the Elder Tahar, the Elder Gabar, and all the rest of the brothers, when we teach out there, we tell you brothers, that understand this truth, you got to get your behinds out there and teach, man, because the more this word goes out, the closer we go to this man coming down. So it says that he has to be revealed through the spirit of the Most High's mouth, meaning he has to be revealed. Judgment has to be pronounced on him, and shall destroy with the brightness of his coming. So if he's not revealed, he can't be destroyed. So he got to be revealed first, so the Most High can destroy him. It says, "Even him whose coming is after the working of Satan with power and signs and lying wonders."